bring on someone that covers the Lions, does a great job. That was it for M Live. And I know my guy Kory. I see him. He gets in those Twitter, Facebook rants. I'm like, this is the perfect time to have him on because I know he's just cooking over there. So let me get him on. Again, Kory Woods on X. You can check him out. Joins the show. Always, hey, no problem talking to the fellas. So let's bring him on. Kory, how we doing, my man?
Pretty good. How you guys doing today?
Hey, good, Kory. You know what? And I hit you up right away because I know. Listen, I know you've been around Lions fans enough, but you see how people are reacting to. And I made the point today. For me, it's not even about Aziz to me, Kory. It's just about I'm looking at this Eagles team, and they have every excuse to just be like, you know what, fellas or fans, like Howie Roseman, we don't have to sign anyone. We'll just continue to draft. We have a ton of guys that are under these max contracts. We're cap strapped. We're giving big money to all these players. Lane Johnson just got another bag. But you see the Eagles giving out these one-year deals, still adding talent, and they're going to draft well, and they're going to keep doing what they're doing. That's where my frustration comes in, not as much Aziz, but what'd you make of like kind of the Lions fans and today with the Aziz stuff? Because I know you put out some stuff today.
Well, I mean, it takes two to tango at the end of the day. Like I said on Twitter, X, whatever it's called these days, you can play Madden where it's a simulation and rig it to like overpay a guy and sign him. But in real life, it takes two parties to want to come together and make something like this happen. And at the end of the day, he didn't take $4 million and go to the Cardinals. He didn't take $4 million and go to like some inferior team. And I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit of a lag here, but he took $4 million to the defending champions. And he's going to be a part of a rotation. Who knows how much time he's going to see? We'll figure that out. I mean, it made sense for him. I don't know if the Lions I haven't heard anything about the Lions being in the deal or out of the deal. We'll find the next couple of days as it comes out. But the one thing that I find pretty interesting is that, okay, Lions fans don't want them to re-sign their own free agents who have an injury history, like Marcus Davenport. They're upset they didn't go out and get an outside free agent who also has an injury history, and Aziz. I mean, Aziz has played, 7 games, 11 games, 11 games. With Marcus Davenport, 15 for then 8-game difference, but I mean, the injury history is still there. I can understand the logic of bringing back one of your guys on a 1-year flyer after he got injured off of a freak accident, as opposed to going out with unknown and getting somebody like Aziz. That's my logic of it. But again, when you want to just look at this free agent class in general, it was a weak free agent class. A lot of guys got, I don't want to say they got overpaid because the NFL is a violent sport and, get what you can get. But at the end of the day, yeah, a lot of guys got money they probably normally would not have gotten. I mean, this Young got 3 years, $51 million, which can blow up to 57. So I think Lions fans just wanted some kind of name, some kind of move that needed to happen because of the way last season ended. But look at how last season ended. 15-2 with most of their front 7 on injured reserve and pulling guys up off the street. So that lack of pass rush that the Lions had was on injured reserve. It wasn't just they were out there with their starters and their second stringers getting beat. Guys were hurt. So do you want to go ahead and spend money on Aziz, or do you want to, hey, get Zadarius kind of off the book, try to re-sign him back, and then go draft an edge rusher at number 28, or trade up and draft an edge rusher in the second round, depending on how certain picks fall. Because me and Ben just did a podcast and we said if Tyler Booker falls down to number 28, grab. But I mean, look, I understand the frustration. I don't want to get too long, but I understand the frustration. Lions fans, it's been longing for winter, and I know the whole let Brad Cook thing can get a little bit played out. But at the same time, this man has been very calculated in how he has built this team. And it's been incremental growth each year, aside from last year's freak year with everybody got it. So I would say just calm down, if they don't draft an edge, if you don't see any real movement around getting premier talent on that front seven around the draft or during the draft, then I would say, okay, go into worry. Right now, just be a little bit concerned about things are going.
And Kory, like, it's not that I'm saying that you're wrong, but just kind of pushing back on this, because when I see Brad specifically with the defensive ends, like when he sees an issue with the cornerback room, like last year, he saw what happened with Cam Sutton, Jerry Jacobs, and no disrespect to those guys weren't making the cut. So what does he do? He trades for Carlton Davis and doubles down at the corner spot. Carlton Davis leaves. He doesn't fuck around. He signs DJ Reed, and it wasn't an overpay for DJ Reed, but after you see these contracts, you kind of paid for what you got. He's like DJ Reed, I think, got paid the perfect amount what he deserved. But then you look at this defensive end spot, and it's almost like he's lacking to do that there. So why do you think the difference between cornerback and defensive end, when you can see him like, hey, there's an issue, I'm going to go address it right now, but with this defensive end spot, it is kind of floating around a nickel and diming?
Well, because again, with the defensive end spot, a lot of guys just got injured last year. That's just really what it was. With Carlton Davis, you have to replace that because that's a CB1 that's just walking out the building. But these rest of these guys, you just need to go ahead and get them back healthy. Ask for depth to this and, get key pieces to keep this thing going. So, attrition beat the Lions last year, not having adequate talent on that front seven. I mean, heck, if the Lions are all healthy, if the Lions are, let's say they're 8% healthy, let's say they have the front four. If you have Davenport, Hutchinson, Reeder, and Aline fully healthy, that divisional round game looks a lot different. But you don't. You got guys that are pulled off of practice squads that are being pulled from the street. So again, I understand they're starting and then they're getting beat like that. Okay, yeah, Brad, you got to go out and go get a pass rusher. Those guys were injured. So right now, you just need to go ahead and just make sure you just add some quality depth and get those key things and just build this thing, from the, add a little bit more to it. I will say that this is the one move that deserves criticism when it comes to that front seven was the releasing of Zadarius Smith. That's the one I can say, okay, that's a little bit questionable of why you're going to do that when you need Zadarius Smith to go after pass rusher, or still to keep Zadarius Smith, trade for a pass rusher, and still draft the pass rusher. So that's where the criticism could come in for the Lions, but not going all in on a pretty somewhat weak free agency class. I understand why fans are kind of iffy about the lack of movement, but when you take a step back, Brad has been very calculated. And, one thing I can say about him is there are not too many moves that he has made or didn't make that have come back to backfire him yet. Who knows? Maybe his luck could be running out. But so far, I believe that he has built enough equity in his 4 years to be able to let this thing roll a little bit until it gets to a point where it's like, okay, now you got to do something.
Yeah. Do you have any, are you holding out any hope that Zadarius hasn't signed with a team yet returns?
Well, I've read a couple of things because that's something I've been searching on every day. I've seen little whispers out there about him possibly going to Ravens, nothing really substantial yet that has had legs, just somebody floating the thought out there. Right now, with the way, we do that first wave of free agency, you kind of see where the market is at. Guys have been released and returned to their teams during this period. We've seen that with several players. So it could be a possibility where, the Lions just want to get the contract off the books and get him back for a better number. We'll see. Remains to be seen. I think that really needs to be the priority right now, going to go back and get him, because I would like to see Zadarius Smith in a full training camp with Hutchinson, You know, Aleem, I don't know if Aleem is going to be ready or not. We'll see. But I would like to see him in a full training camp with Hutchinson and Reeder and those guys under Shep and kind of see what kind of continuity they can build out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the free agents that are out there going back and getting that guy who's already in the building, I think that needs to be something they need to go ahead and go focus on.
And Kory, kind of flipping to the other side of the ball, something that to me, it hurt really bad at first as far as being a Lions fan, but as days went on, I'm like, all right, it's not so bad. That was the decision to let Kevin Zeitler walk, and maybe they tried to offer him a deal, but Kevin Zeitler leaves. He goes to Tennessee. You just brought up Tyler Booker. Love that option. We're going to be doing mock drafts here in a little bit, and I may or may not have that in mind as well. But when you look at that, how do you think their plan is to kind of replace Kevin Zeitler here?
Ooh, I'm honest with you. Zeitler one is one that I was shocked that he left that for the number. There are rumors out there that he has family in Tennessee. So if that family in Tennessee, probably your last year in the league, going to get a bag, being near family, not home, but near family. If that's what it is, cool, makes sense to me. Can't really get too mad about that. But I was shocked to see him leave out there. I thought that again, letting that guy walk out, I thought replacing him might have been an option. But again, Christian Mahogany played well in spot last year, so. You know, again, they might be ready to go ahead and, you know, take the reins off of him. But yeah, I thought they would have went out and got somebody by now through free agency. I'm going to see how that we're all pretty much in the wait and see mode on how that goes. But yeah, they're going to have to address that in the draft. You know, absolutely, because that was a significant loss. And you know, the people weren't able to. I mean, that we lost a Pro Bowl offensive lineman who played in very good spots for you throughout the entire season. So yes, that's something I'm going to be looking at again. Like you just said, we got our mailbag segment. They said, you know, if Jahad Campbell, Booker, and Will Johnson is there, who do you take? I mean, Will Johnson is a stud. Jahad Campbell, I think if you take Jahad Campbell, he solves multiple problems for you. But if Tyler Booker is there at 28, you might have to just rethink how you do the draft and go grab him, because Tyler Booker and Penei Sewell on the same offensive line, good God almighty.
Man, Kory. A lot of dude's fucking huge.
I've seen him in person. That is a massive human being. So if Tyler Booker is there, I'm telling Lions fans right now, Tyler Booker is there, take him. Let Brad figure out the second round and trade, make some move to trade up and get a higher second round pick, and then take an edge there. But if Tyler Booker's there at 28, you can't pass on him.
No,
I hate that take.
I respect it. I love it. Good stuff, Kory. Appreciate you as always, brother, joining the show whenever I hit you up, man. Keep up the great work. Check out Kory Woods on X. Does some great stuff. But we'll talk to you soon, bro.
Looking, Kory.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
see you.
There you go. Kory Woods taking the time, joining the fellas there. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.